Welcome to The Big Story. I'm Haryanto Diman. Subscribe to the Straits Times channel so you will not miss an episode. International aid from some 45 countries is pouring in to help search and rescue efforts in Turkiye and neighbouring Syria, as both countries deal with the aftermath of the magnitude 7.8 earthquake that struck yesterday. In a Facebook post, the Singapore Civil Defence Force says it will send a 20-man team to assist in the rescue efforts. It will be deployed within the next 24 hours and comprise officers from the elite disaster assistance and rescue team, paramedics and a doctor. The Singapore Red Cross, meanwhile, is pledging $100,000 in humanitarian aid to the Turkish Red Crescent and the Syrian Arab Red Crescent. It's also launching a public appeal to help support recovery operations. The biggest quake worldwide this year has claimed more than 5,000 lives, but the World Health Organization estimates that up to 20,000 may have died. With rescuers racing against the clock to find survivors, freezing temperatures and heavy aftershocks have hampered their efforts. Assistant Professor Wei Shengqi from the Asian School of the Environment at Nanyang Technological University joins us with more. Now, he's also a principal investigator with the Earth Observatory of Singapore. Professor, thousands killed in this quake, with many saying this will likely be one of the deadliest this decade. Why has this particular quake killed so many?
First of all, this earthquake is a magnitude 7.8 earthquake. Its rupture dimension is more than 150 kilometers long. And there are many major cities located around this Eastern Anatolian fault, which is the fault that hosted the 7.8 earthquake. And there's another reason that this earthquake is so deadly, because it was followed by a magnitude 7.5 magnitude aftershock, which is like you have the first punch and then the second punch to the infrastructure. So together they produce more damages than a single event.
Professor, Turkey is in one of the world's most active earthquake zones. Is there anything the country could have done to prepare for this? And do you think they were prepared?
I believe Turkey has prepared for a strong earthquake like this because in the past there are many damaging earthquakes occur in Turkey. The Eastern Anatolian fault that hosted this recent earthquake has produced many damaging earthquakes in the past. So I believe the country have prepared for an earthquake like this. However, no matter how well a society, a government is preparing for a future damaging earthquake, it's never going to be adequate, because there's always going to be buildings that are going to be knocked down by the strong shaking from the earthquake. So what I can say is that different governments are trying their best, but it's always a certain level of damage that is out of the control.
And based on the type of fault line the region is on, Professor, what can we expect in the coming days and weeks, and what do you think needs to be done to be ready for that?
I think after a big earthquake like this, the first thing we should pay attention to is its strong aftershocks, because a strong aftershocks could be the second punch or the third punch on the infrastructure that might survive in the main shock, but they could be damaged in the following aftershocks. In another word, that aftershocks can also be deadly. An important feature for this particular earthquake is that it was followed by a magnitude 7.5 event, which is very close in magnitude of the main shock, which is 7.8. So I think the first thing that should be done is that besides rescuing people and save life, to be able to monitor the aftershock activity and try to minimize the impact of the aftershocks. For example, people should not stay in their house. They should be living in an open space with the tents, within the tents. I think that is probably the first priority for the local government.
Professor, thank you for your insights. Assistant Professor Wei Shen-chi from the Asian School of the Environment at Nanyang Technological University. Celebrating the life, contributions and legacy of Singapore's founding Prime Minister Lee Kuan Yew, several groups have put forward ideas to mark the 100th anniversary of Mr. Lee's birth. Responding to a question in Parliament today, Manpower Minister Tan See Leng said groups in the community, like business and grassroots leaders, have expressed that they feel it is important to remember Mr. Lee's contributions to Singapore and the ideals that he represented. Several government agencies have also planned initiatives to commemorate the anniversary.
On the government's part, some agencies have planned initiatives for this year, in which Mr. Lee will feature. For example, the National Heritage Board has an ongoing travelling exhibition for the Founders Memorial as part of a public call for artifacts and stories from our nation-building years. Later this year, they will have a more extensive exhibition at the National Museum on key historical milestones our founding leaders rallied our people through. This year also marks the 60th year of Singapore's greening journey, since Mr. Lee launched the first tree planting campaign in 1963, and NParks will have various activities to mark this milestone. MAS will also be issuing a commemorative coin later in the year as a reminder of Mr. Lee's values and vision.
Those are our top stories today. Visit straitstimes.com for more news and our YouTube channel for more videos. Subscribe by clicking the red button below. I'm Haryanto Diman. Join us tomorrow for more stories on The Big Story.